Hello and welcome to this best of 3 series between Attackspeedenjoyer and Enticity in Warhammer League 3. Be sure to like and subscribe for more games and let's get into it. Currently 1-0 for Attackspeedenjoyer, which is especially into Anticity's Norska, quite the feat. And this time we have a Vampire Counts versus High Elves. So basically, Ant grabbed High Elves off the previous game. And yeah, let's see how he does with High Elves and let's see how Attack Speed does with Vampire Counts, especially because I have not previously seen Attack Speed basically play any Vampire Counts. So we got for the Lord, we have Heinrich Kemmler, Gaze of Nagash, Raise Dead, Invocation. Gaze is pretty good into stuff that's big, right? Because on his little horse, basically Himmler will not have the best angle to throw out gazes, which is quite unfortunate that he doesn't have a flying mount. And other than that, we have double White King on horse, double Scab's crit, that is totally normal. Then just a bunch of zombos, a corpse cart, on the other side a couple of zombies, and he is going for a vanguard deployment mostly. So a couple of crypt ghouls on each side, including the Feasters of the Dark, and we actually see hex rates, which is do high elves have enough magic damage to deal with hex rates? We will see when it comes to the Ent army. Other than that, just a couple of dire wolves as well as the dire pack. On the side of Enticity, we see the classic campaign army with just a bunch of now ships company instead of spearmen and archers. Other than that, he basically went for a start with the Fireborn. It is literally the quintessential army that you try to just get the regiment of renown on one lord and then try to carry it with that specific unit. That is the Fireborn right here, right? And when it comes to the magic, it's the Mage of Metal with specifically Plague of Rust and Final Transmutation. So a quite standard thing. So I don't know, Plague of Rust is specifically against like stuff like Blood Knights and Black Knights. Not against any specific single entity and stuff. And it's not going to be very useful against the current army of attack speed. But the final transmutation definitely will. Like if he ever blobs, if there is ever a blob from the side of attack speed, that thing is going to destroy that blob. Which, again, that is the point of it. But starting off with the Fireborn basically says that he called the bluff of let's say attack speed. He's not going to be able to just fully go in with the hex rates, just YOLOing in. And man, do these guys have terrible freaking stats for like a 1400 gold unit. Please, CA, what is 35 on a freaking unit that costs so much is unreal. Like, look at this. This unit has 550 like attacks, melee attack. And ooh, this might be a very big misplay from the side of attack speed, going in with the White Kings, especially with them being large. And Fireborn are anti-large. If you did not know that, they absolutely cook stuff like White Kings, especially with their bonus with fire damage. And yeah, this is quite the unfortunate surround. Very nice move from Enticity. If you saw that, he basically gave a move command to go a bit further and then have a better surround against the White King. And this guy is absolutely going to get screwed over because there is nothing that can help him. Unless there is, for example, a Raise Dead summon. There should definitely be an instant Raise Dead summon over here to try and bail him out, or at least keep him alive longer so that he doesn't instantly die. That is quite unfortunate. This is a very good surround, though, from the side of attack speed. The Feasters in the Dark are quite speedy, and only one unit that is currently just preoccupied is very good in this entire army, right? It is just the Fireborn. If the Fireborn are preoccupied with, let's say, killing a White King, the rest of your units, the Feasters in the Dark and the Crypt Ghouls, can potentially get into the Archer line and then basically kill them all, right? Where's the other White King? The White King actually escaped with a Skeleton Warrior summon. That is a good play. That is a good play. Though the other White King over here is definitely being mismicroed, as well as the Black Knight in the back. they definitely should be over here in an instant to shut down everything here. And I think he panic clicked Scab Scrat to try and bail himself out of the situation where he was with the Fireborn. So unfortunately now he can't like just do a Scab Scrat and absolutely delete this entire army from existence. Like one overcast, like double Scab Scrat down the pipe here, like this, would basically kill both of these archer units and Shrek everything that exists here. These two archer units are being compromised, and on the other side we just see a bunch of zombies fighting ship's company, which is a wet noodle contest, especially with the corpse cart being very near here. Ooh, nice final transmutation. Basically cooking this White King. Oh, is he gonna live 200 HP? He actually does live. He might go into crumbling though, like minus 15. Oh, very nice play from the side of attack speed. He basically charged in the back so that he stabilizes the leadership with the plus 15 from the charge. Though it does seem like it is a bit of an overextension from attack speed into end spawn, even if he's shutting down a couple of the archer units. Are these summoned? No, they're not. They're actual Oceanids. So he is overextending a bit, and the main problem that I see with the overextension, it's not the problem that he's overextending into end spawn, is that he doesn't have a third captured objective, right? If he had a triple cap, oh, and these are Sword Masters of Hoeth, damn. They're actually beating the hex rates, interesting. So if he had the third cap, there would be much more pressure when it comes to the objectives here. And also Heinrich Kemmler getting surrounded here, pardon, is definitely not a good play. From the side of attack speed, he's in reavers, like they're not gonna kill him super fast. He isn't, but he isn't the tankiest of characters, so him getting focused down over there is definitely a problem. Black Knight's being chased off by the Fireborn, and even with such a big advantage, look at the value difference: 7,400 to 3,400. That is a huge value difference. And the thing is, with vampire counts, you usually trade out value for healing and for objective control. But the problem here is he can't get these Sword Masters of Hoeth off this objective. He should have had Kemmler, let's say right here, and then shot a Gaze of Nagash down the line of the Sword Masters to potentially get them off. Because at this point, this is just zombies and this is Black Knights. Like, neither of these double units are going to have like the best of times fighting into each other. It's just gonna take a while, and Ant is now taking over the game slowly because they're just the pressure is slowly getting relieved, and he still isn't like omega under pressure with just having this objective capped. Like, you can look at the current objectives, right? If Ant was basically at 0 and his opponent was at 1,000, you could potentially see a stall out type of game where the side of attack speed would just wait on objectives and potentially just try to stall it up. But at this point, it just does seem like attack speed is out of oomph, and yeah, he also understands that he just doesn't have enough gas in the tank to keep the pressure up, and with that he just taps out. Definitely a small misplay from attack speed, just throwing his White King into the Fireborn at the start, and then potentially even panic clicking the Scab Scrats. I did not see where they went, but one did go off at the start, and that specific one just not being used on a ship's company to clear out like a front line, or onto archers to clear out them, is definitely a thing that cost him early. And then again, getting Kemmler surrounded potentially, and just not capping the third objective is basically what kind of cost him the game at this point. It would have definitely been a back and forth, but it was those were some of the misplays that we can spot immediately. Also, Feasters in the Dark basically did nothing. They tried to surround, but then they got intercepted by Oceanids, which was a nice play from Ant. If he did spot them, they do have stock, so it might have been like not a spotting type of situation. Also, Dogs basically doing nothing. This is quite interesting. Like, Dogs should be a supporting unit, so especially inside of vampire counts. So when you engage the frontline fighting, and then the Cav is busy doing something, like let's say the Fireborn is busy fighting the White King or whatever, the dire pack definitely goes around and potentially tries to fight him. Oh, and so he indexed basically into hex rates, basically thinking that Ant would not have enough magic damage to deal with them. And when you look at their value, they did absolute garbage, man. That unit is trash. I don't know. When you're taking hex rates, I would just take the chill geists, and then the rest of it I would just index into, honestly, Blood Knights. Blood Knights, but Ant was also prepared for that, right? Because he had the Metal Archmage with Plague of Rust, and Plague of Rust absolutely destroys cav units, so that is kind of difficult to deal with. Though Black Knights are very good in this matchup, I think, because they can, again, lances, they have bronze shields, they can go into stuff like the archers and then deal with them relatively cost effectively. The bats were very nice to tarp it, but weren't just enough to do everything in their power. When it comes to the Mage of Metal, just one Overcast Transmutation did its job. All the other ships' company, nothing special. Caradhran's Company of Caladhrian did very well. And yeah, the Sword Masters of Hoeth being an anchor piece on the middle objective there, not letting basically attack speed get a foothold onto it, was chef's kiss. That was such a good play. Also, archers basically all pay, not really paying for themselves, but these guys were like full HP. These guys are full HP. These guys are basically full HP, so they would have rallied and then done enough damage. And Fireborn being full HP basically, so no models lost. That basically means no models lost, and already paying for themselves is insane. He also had a Mage of Light and Mage of High. So that is good tech, honestly, because damn, he really over-indexed into magic, trying to defend himself from everything that attack speed could have done. Crazy, did not know this. So Mage of Light is there for nets if attack speed over-indexes into cav, because this army is super weak to cav opener, right? If he just went quad Black Knight, double Black Knight lances, one Blood Knight or something like that, and then two dogs, this army folds like a piece of paper. And he just went for a Mage of Light with, I assume, just net to get out and stop stuff like that. And he also had a Mage of High with just Tempest, I assume, or Tempest and Apotheosis to stop any sort of like massive airplay. Which, if there was a Flying Lord, if there were Vargheists or mass Vargheists, that is there to stop them. And then just another supporting, like a classic Ant army when it comes to the support. Cool. Very cool to see like all of the tech that Ant brought in this matchup. And he feels like his units are high enough quality that even with indexing 2 extra mages, he would be totally fine. That is confidence, if there ever was confidence. And yeah, 1-1 to the both of them. And I'll see you guys in game 3. Be sure to like and subscribe.